When there's large periods of silence, into my mind can start to drift.
Alright, and we're live. How is everyone doing today?
Meh.
Meh. Meh. What do you mean, meh?
I mean, I've got an infection in my leg, so meh.
No. Well, tell that infection to go away. The only infection we dealt with is Phyrexian.
What?
Wrong game.
Wrong game indeed.
We're not dealing with Phyrexians in this campaign?
Nope.
No.
Not yet,
Yeah,
anyway.
You have not done any planeswalking so far.
Oh, okay. Okay. That's good.
Not yet.
Well, guys, I guess we're going to friction. This just in.
This just...
You heard it, guys. We're going there.
This just in. The entirety of the Arcanus continent has been taken over by Phyrexian.
Oh, this is where my people are.
Alright. So, we got Peeps. Peeps, say hi.
Hey.
Well, I don't think peeps can talk because they're candy.
These are Peeps. Peeps, say hi. These are Peeps when the campaign comes by.
Don't try and rhyme.
Okay, guys, I think it's time to leave.
These are the Peeps when the
Roger
campaign
that.
is fly. There we go.
Leave me alone with this man.
Like, you gotta help him refine his poetry.
I think
That's
she's
not
tried and
bad.
it's not gonna work.
I
I
just
feel-
want him to stop doing. That's all I can do.
feel like I am being berated for my ability to conjure up eclectic speech for the purpose of entertaining my friends and family.
Yes.
What does eclectic mean again?
Look it up.
Why
Why do you-
I don't
why
think
do-
anyone here is a lit major.
Oh,
He's using the word.
No.
he's an engineer, not a linguist.
Then he shouldn't be using those words. Engineers are simple folk. I would know. I have an engineer as a grandfather. And I took some of those engineering classes. Granted,
Yeah.
electrical engineering murdered me, but...
You can speak quite eclectically. But you're not always the best with just mixing that in with spontaneity.
Forsooth. Well, so, you guys have arrived back in town, and it's the following morning. The Prince Harim, he,
Hey, it's been that long.
well,
I thought we were...
you guys got
That's
back.
why we're
You guys got back later in the evening. Prince Harim was very nervous because you guys had been summoned and you guys weren't there to go.
We're standing up the summons.
Uh-oh.
To be fair, we didn't stand it
Opera,
up.
what are you
before.
doing?
It's not recording. It's not streaming. We're
No.
not streaming.
No, we're streaming. We're fine on the streaming. Hey, Opera was just acting out because I was changing one of the magic items that I was just making.
I see.
This is
This is.
This is Sparta?
No, this is ridiculous.
Oh, I thought you were saying like it's delicious.
Hold on. Let me put it on the technical difficulties real quick.
Benny Hill music.
Who was Benny Hill anyway?
It was a TV series, I think.
I'm guessing an older show.
Probably. Let's go find out. Benny Hill. Oh, comedian. From 20. Benny Hill died in '92, so yeah. Formed on radio from 50 to. Yeah, it was old stuff. As far if it was the comedian. There's the Benny Hill show from 55 to 89. So yeah.
What else can I close?
System 32.
I believe that's a bad idea.
No, he said close, not delete.
What does closing
Oh.
systems to do?
I'm not hardlined in.
No, you're not.
You're literally just closing a folder. That's all you're doing,
No,
which does quite literally nothing.
I had unplugged it again because you had needed it, but then you were like, no, it's fine, and I brought it back over here, and I never replugged it in.
Well, that was 2 weeks ago.
Yes, that was 2 weeks ago.
What is this?
The energy drink they had on sale. I was trying it out.
Didn't get me an energy drink they had on sale.
What?
You think
You didn't get me an energy drink they had on sale.
Yes, I'm going to go sage mode after I drink that.
And this might cut out. Lovely sign.
Yeah, probably because it's switching over.
Alright. Can y'all hear me?
Now we
Yes.
can.
Alright. Can y'all see me?
I can never see you.
Okay,
What?
that's good because you're not supposed to be able to see me.
Give me a moment. I'll go take over a satellite real quick.
Alright.
We gotta take them all down.
We gotta do this. Alright. I need to refresh this page. So that it's me. Despite everything, it's still me.
I like me's.
Alright. The question is, did the item that I just add get messed up? 'Cause I
Probably.
was in the middle of editing it.
Possibly.
Given your luck.
No,
Yep.
given knowledge of engineering.
Alright.
Given knowledge of engineering, there's a 50-50 chance.
Alright. Yeah, it's fine. Ooh. Alright.
Given my knowledge.
So, let's switch back from technicals, difficulties. Yeah. Give it the computer a chance to load all our faces in. Alright,
I don't want them seeing my face.
Alright, everyone can speak and their images will colorize and everything. Nom nom nom.
No cannibalism.
Alright. Now, okay. Let's take it from after Adarpi had calmed down the Prince Reign. Would you guys go immediately to the palace, even though it's late at night, or will you wake up early in the morning and go?
Given we have been summoned, Dovat would suggest going.
I guess we should really.
I just want to make sure that we get fed.
What is Hareem saying on?
She's kind of just nervous in general because from what she said, she's also been summoned, which is abnormal, and she's nervous that she's in trouble for something or other.
I thought that we were walking into the palace already, though, and when we ended last time.
Yeah, I thought we were too.
Yeah.
Okay. I might have misremembered where we ended off.
Or the grand hall or something like that. We end the session.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was some stuff I was going to cover, but I can cover that later.
That's not ominous.
Just some people that need to have a talk with. It's only ominous if you make it ominous.
All right. So, you guys enter into the palace, and as soon as you enter into the main area of the palace, you can feel that you can feel magic washing over you. And you notice that there are these two ibis-headed avens, as opposed to Eric Croker, where they're more bird than person. These are avens, as in they have like humanoid bodies. He's a pair of wings on their backs, and their heads are that of birds. There's two of them that are standing on either side of the entryway. It seems like they're scanning you with magic.
Does it go for parts that are out of their line of sight?
It seems like they're doing it. Oh, whoops! I'm in TM view for both of these. Hold on. I shouldn't be in GM view for both screens. No wonder stuff was popping up. Alright, there we go. Alright, so they seem to be very particular about what, like, checking out you guys with their magic.
Can I tell if they're just doing a base detect magic or?
You cannot.
Okay.
You just feel watched.
Okay.
Ew. Keep your eyes to yourself.
So I can probably assume things. Probably just magical sentinels to make sure we aren't unwelcome intruders with some hidden stuff.
When you, as you go further in, you see more dignitary-like people who hanging around, milling about. Oh, a few people walking around with huge carts of scrolls and information. In like a couple of people, you can tell that the majority of people here are hobgoblins and and orcs, as well as quite a few who of the Kinras, the dog people. They seem to be the third most populous when it comes to people here. And the Kinra are kind of weird because they seem to move around in pairs. Those of you that would know about them and their culture, they know that they are typically born as twins, and the twins typically stick together at all times. The only time they separate is when, they get married and start having their own families. So in general, you will always see Kinra in pairs, either with their twin or with their spouse. Which makes it kind of weird that Prince Harim and Prince Hassan are never near each other in general.
I was actually about to ask about that.
Well, they actually twins, or are they from two separate?
They're twins.
Harim has.
The princess was born first, from what I remember.
Yeah. Harim was born first. There are twins. As you guys go, you see there's quite a few guards and what looks to be mages just standing off to the sides and edges. They all seem to be wearing these white linen in masks that cover most of their face. And it has the city's emblem, which is that of a gold. Like, it's a gold piece with a jackal head on it. It on one side of a scale and a heart on the other side of a scale. As you go forward, go ahead.
Well, I was gonna ask, can I, tell where, is there food anywhere in this place? Smelling wise?
You don't smell any food in this area. It doesn't seem like this is a place where people eat.
Dang. I'll just be disappointed. That's okay. Let's go.
As you guys get to the end of the hallway, you'll see the Prince Hassan standing at the doorway. A large set of double doors that are emblazoned with these card reliefs of two Kenra, each holding a kopes that's crossed over each other. In almost like opposing dancing poses, like they're performing some sort of twin sword dance. Like as you see him, he'll notice you. Friends, you're here. Like he comes up to you guys and holds out his hand to say, whoever will take it.
Mono will.
Okay.
He shakes your hand.
Yeah, might as well.
Nana, it's good to see you, my friend. And Nissa, Dodat.
Dobat will nod.
Now, for the rest of you who hadn't noticed it before, this is probably the first clear indication that he most likely is blind, because he's not addressing you guys individually until he shakes your hand or is close enough to sort of get a feel for who's in front of him.
Ah.
I trust you're doing well.
Yes. Come. My parents are waiting in the throne room. They are speaking with some dignitaries from Knox currently. That should be wrapping
Oh,
up
lovely
soon.
indeed.
Out of game.
As we all have that look at each other.
Yeah, it's like, out of game. Oh, lovely. We about to crash a very fun party. Who's ready for round 2?
You certain this is a good time? I believe if there was some tension with the Noxians not too long ago.
Yes, that is true. But we currently are working in a different capacity with them.
The capacity not as Arcanus?
I cannot speak freely of the matter, but should you wish to acquiesce as to certain traditions, since you can be brought into the fold on these talks.
Quick question. What's the name of the guy I'm wearing again?
Charles Debonair the second. No, yeah. You're Charles Debonair the first. Your son is the second. Okay. Owner of the Heavenly Loaf Baking Company.
Or ex-owner.
Well, I will tell the prince that I also go by that name for the purposes of dealings with the Noxians.
I see. Never elusive. Don't worry. We keep the Noxians at arm's reach. They deal in some assets that my family isn't too keen on.
I certainly understand.
Yeah. But still, would it be wise for, shall we say, a party of adventurers to intrude on such an important delegation?
They just simply wish to entreat us for certain things. It's nothing so important. They only sent 3 people, so it can't have been too big of a deal.
Depends on the rank of those people, but if you would say so.
Oh, this is them now. You see one of the doors opening. You see what appears to be a 10-foot tall Loxodon or elephant person and struggling to open the door, or he uses he's only using one of his arms and his trunk. His other hand seems to be immobile. Mana, give me a quick perception.
Okay.
Only Mana can see it.
This is tied to Mana's one of
Okay.
Mana's crafting skills.
Okay.
Nope. I clicked on the wrong sheet. Perception.
Mm-hmm.
Don't suppose I can use something else?
You still got a good roll.
Yeah.
Right. You notice that he has his left hand is a prosthesis, is being supported by a very rudimentary apparatus that's tied like to his elbow and shoulder, so that like if he can sort of lift his hand, but the fingers themselves don't move independently, and it's not really good for like this kind of application where he's trying to like open this door.
Can we help?
I'll help him with the door.
Yeah, I'm gonna help as well.
Oh, no, you're a guest. I got this. I hope the three of you find our fair city amicable to your needs. As he says this, you see three individuals walk out. A person dressed all in white, like white robes, white clothing, white hood. But the markings on it don't necessarily denote the Church of Inmost Light. You can tell that this clothing is like related to like the same kind of religious vestments that the church uses, but it
Nick,
Yeah.
we can hear that.
Sorry. Sorry, I lost my thought. Alright, sorry.
They're related to that church.
It's tangentially related to the Church of Inmost Light, but it doesn't seem to be the same. It, like, if you were to look at it and the robes that, say, a Pep were wearing side by side, it would be... You could definitely tell that there's a difference, but this person's outfit is it's similar enough that at first blush your first thought would be those kind of vestments, but as you look closer you can tell that this individual is wearing what appears to be a turtle shell on their back. They stand probably about 6'4". Adarpi, you would actually recognize this individual as one of the people that talked to you in the street about a week or so ago, and also one of the people that was hanging out with Trin and Edoris and Zoran.
Oh.
The second the second individual is that halfling individual, the sort one who wears the jester's garment. He's also there.
Oh no.
Indeed. Round two, guys.
Out of game. Let's flip the dogs of war.
Then the third.
I don't remember.
The third individual is Zoran himself. So as the three of them step out. they aren't like really paying attention to you guys at first before the halfling thing turns, and you, even despite the mask they're wearing, you can tell that they immediately perk up, and they trot over to you or Dorothy. Ooh, it's the Whipper. Like, and you're hearing it in your minds. He seems to be broadcasting like to you guys as a group, like through his thoughts. Your party was so amazing the other day. Too bad what happened in the city not long after that.
Yeah, we weren't there for all of that. We came here, way before that happened. When did you get here?
We just got into town this morning.
Oh, so what's the state of Goldport?
No.
The city itself is fine, and there was a very strange event that happened during the battle between the gods. But I'm sure you'll hear about it from just rumors as they circulate. Hey, I'm not at liberty to tell too much information.
What are you at liberty to tell?
Ooh, well, as he gets ready to talk, Zoran clears his throat. My good friends, it has been a while.
I wouldn't really say that.
Quick question. Can Dobat sense the mark on Zoran?
Yeah, you can sense the mark now that you're closer to him. It's different than like the others. Normally, like your guys are able to sense the marks from a decent distance away, but his seems to be
He seems to be masking it somehow.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe we always sensed it. We just figured that it was each other.
Well, no, out of game, given his prowess, he probably has a way to mask it. We don't.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's a possibility.
Hello, Zoran.
Hello. Oh, I can't. It's hard to imagine that after we met up again, so many things happened in quick succession like it has.
I always felt like weird things were going on in that town. It was just a matter of time.
Quite. Have you guys gotten a chance to visit the temple? And I heard that they can work any kind of miracle that that you can ask for, as long as you offer them up enough gold.
And they ask for quite an amount, from what I can tell.
Yes.
Do you have a purpose of going to the temple?
Not in particular, but it is good to see the friends. We were simply
not say friends.
We were simply here to inquire about a shipment that went missing. But
what that went missing?
Wait, a what?
A shipment. We had
out of game one that we all know about.
Oh.
It was supposed to make a pit stop in this city, offloading some few things, but it seems like it didn't make it to the city. The desert is a dangerous place after all.
Never know what you can run into there.
We wouldn't know.
An associate,
No,
an associate of mine things that I just ran into not too long ago. Gave me a very interesting description of some people that he ran into.
Mm. Well, we were all teleported.
As he says this, he gets very close to the mana. It seems like he ran into quite an interesting looking carriage.
Personal space much?
But
out of curiosity, are any of the guards or anything like reacting to any of this?
No, they're just standing by. No one's made any aggressive motion.
Is my sister with them?
She does not seem to be.
They said there were only 3, so it's the Turtle Shell, the Jester, and Zoran.
Where's the rest of your party?
They're around.
I usually see you guys with more.
They're around. We get vacation days, so a few of them are currently on vacation, and others are making preparations for our continued trip. This is merely a pit stop. You see, we're heading up to Brig. What's that city he called again? Nehustan. Yes, Nehustan. But we had to make sure that we came and inquired about things first.
Oh, when are you headed to Nehustan?
We'll probably be leaving in the morning.
Wait, did you guys hear anything I said?
No, you've been quiet for a while.
Shoot, I accidentally had my thing muted.
Oh, what were you saying then?
Oh, I told him I don't believe we've met.
Quite. Brig, send a message to Columbine to make sure everything is in order at the temple before we head out. Will do, Captain. Joker, I need you to be on your best behavior. Understood? The short one nods. He doesn't say anything further. He waves to you guys. He does a little front roll and he sort of dances his way out of the hall.
I wave back.
We'll be seeing you. Like as he's walking by, he'll place a hand on the Dorothy's shoulder. Here.
And I'll take a step immediately in the opposite direction.
Do not fret. I think I'm piecing a few puzzle pieces together.
I mean, if you like games.
And he's going to, with that, he's going to head out.
Once they're... Go ahead.
After they leave, he Hassan and looks at you guys. You guys know him?
In a sort.
He's an awful man.
Dobat's gonna speak in ancient common. Looks like we got a bit more to watch out for now.
Oh,
If my sister's
Lana
in
will,
town, that's all I'm worried about.
Lana will say, if it's not one thing, it's the other.
Always something in this crazy continent.
I just want to eat and take a nap. Guess that's not happening.
Anyways, I'm guessing now we are ushered in.
Yeah, the Luxodon man and waves you guys in. And the Lord will see you now. This way, this way. Hey.
Oh. I will tell him as we're going by. If you come find me when you're off, I can improve your prosthetic.
Oh, really?
It's a skill I've picked up.
I may have to take you up on that. This was made with the best that our country has to offer. If you do have some techniques that can help me get a little bit more mobility back, it would be a huge honor for me. I will be willing to pay. I don't have much money, but I do have spells.
I believe that would
sounds nice.
be quite fair.
All right. We'll talk afterwards. As he comes in, you see a Yanti lady. She seems to be like some sort of desert viper because she has these two beady eyes. He's on the top of her head. Yes. She has these two beady eyes on the top of her head, and her scales seem to be like pointed out, kind of like a porcupine almost, but not quite that far. And she leans forward. Your magical gear and whatnot will be disabled for the time in which you will be in front of the king and queen. This is merely a precaution against its shapeshifters and assassins.
Out again, what's about to happen to Nick, who is still muted?
Just because I'm muted doesn't mean I can't hear.
I know. I'm just curious what's about to happen to your character, given how your character works. I don't think anything's going to really happen to Doe, perhaps.
That's what I was asking. What's going to happen to Mana? Is Mana considered a shapeshifter too?
Well, it's probably dependent upon, like, it's going to end polymorph effects or disguise self effects.
Right. As you guys move forward, you see there's a wall. It's basically like an arch, and she's directing you through the arch.
So that will step through.
Alright, as you go through the arch, you can feel something above the arch is essentially restraining your ability to cast magic.
restrained but not fully disabled.
Yeah, and the same can be said for your equipment.
Okay. The only magical gear I have is a +1 sling and a +2 dagger and the inheritance and stuff, but I'm assuming that's all fine.
Yeah.
Okay. But that does not affect supernatural effects or non-magical effects.
Correct.
Okay.
Alright. Z continues to wave you guys forward through. Mana, your disguise does not get disabled by this field.
That's what I thought.
And nobody, you are still able to retain control over your body.
Okay.
But any magical equipment or any spells that you had on your person are disabled. It seems like they did this based off of what the Avens saw on your person, and this is what they're disabling.
Okay.
Well, it's a good thing I'm not wearing my armor. It would get a lot heavier real quick.
Walks through. Bonk. Slow turn.
I
don't think
fall straight.
Let's see. I don't think anyone here has the strength to lift you up, bud.
But my armor's not that heavy. I was a bit broke, so I don't have like plate or anything.
I know, but it's still a bit hilarious.
As you guys walk in, and you will see a grand throne room. Everything is adorned in like this bronze and gold, and this black stone. And you see countless carvings of these statues of these Kenra individuals. The Luxodon person steps forward. These are the kings of the past. Yes, he waves his prosthetic arm out as he's pulling a scroll from his bag with his trunk. I could go down the list of names, but I fear that we would be here for too long. And I know the king and queen were looking forward to tonight's dinner. But I will point one statue out to you. As you guys get towards the end of the hall, well, you see there's a statue that seems to be newer. Like there's not as much wear on it. And it doesn't seem to be adorned with the gold and silver and gemstones of the other statues. He explains it's tradition for a king, once they've retired their crown or passed, is for their statue to then be adorned in the finery of their life.
Quick pause. Is Foundry still working for everybody? Can anyone try? Because I just got kicked with a server lost connection.
Yeah, I'm getting that as well.
I couldn't open any.
There's no issues on my end.
Because I saw a server disconnect thing, but I could still see it, but it's...
Yeah, I couldn't. I was gonna look around and I saw my stuff, and then it gave me the server thing, and I refreshed and I can't launch the game anymore.
Error launching game, error setting license file.
Ruh-roh.
Alright. Technical difficulties.
Sorry, Kiate.
Yep,
I just noticed that.
Me as well.
I just noticed that while I was looking around at some stuff.
Well, if it helps, I haven't gotten any notification of the bill not going through, so it's not that.
Alright. Do it that way. I refreshed it. The thing is, the host up.
Yeah, it just
I'm
went
out.
down for me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Browser's working Cloudflare. The Forge just went down. Like the website itself just went down.
Joining Forge Discord to see if there's North America. Yeah, it's server wide.
Okay.
Because I just joined the Forge Discord, and other people are getting the error.
Yeah, if you go to Forge support, it says.
Yeah, that's where I just joined.
Alright, let me know once it's back up. We'll continue from here with a...
And then we
Dance
can keep
party?
talking, right?
Yeah, we can
Oh, yeah.
still, we can keep going. But what I'll do, I don't have like an image that I can just put up.
Just follow your heart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, why not? Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, someone just started rolling initiative when it happened. Oh,
I see you posting in there.
yes. Well,
Alright. Everyone gets to see a picture of Amon. Everyone likes Amon.
I don't know. Well,
I don't think we had much of a problem with Amon last time.
I think we had a lot of problems with him.
Speak for yourself. I sold out one of his kids. One of his sisters, I think.
I purposely avoided him so he didn't rip my eyes out of my face.
I think I became good friends partially because I was tied to the Apocrypha.
Well, yeah, but you didn't have a worry of him ripping your eyes out.
Nope, because I wasn't going after truth seekers.
Alright, so as you guys go in, you will see first you'll see the statue doesn't have any finery or anything on it. And he explains that essentially once a king dies or passes the throne on it'll be adorned, and basically the finery that they have in life will be recreated. So if they were prosperous, their statue is decorated in gold and gems. But some kings like there's one king, you can definitely tell that his rule was very violent because his statue has been decorated with this red paint on his hands, as well as a cloth, like as this red head cloth around his eyes, and that seems to be like 3 generations ago. That's this guy, but the one after him is adorned in these white robes and in like this silver finery with a couple of gemstones. And then you have the current king who he explains is King Adonijah the First.
Are there any records of the queens?
You don't see any statues of the queens.
Any of the twins?
You're unsure. Here, you can ask about it.
I will.
Oh, they're siblings. Yes. Typically, there will be. There's a selection. and sometimes those elections end in tragedy. The others, he will he'll be it will be more amicable. Well, most twins is are usually granted the title of the captain of the guard or general of the army, and they will essentially still be in the running should their sibling perish. That is what happened. That happened with if the king's great grandfather. He died of an illness. His brother took over the throne as he was without child at the time of his death. But his queen
Right.
his queen did eventually bear a child to his brother, who was then retroactively assigned to him.
So, what if a child is born a female?
Then
Is there no?
no, per the tradition, women are typically given the task to manage the royal harem as well as the royal home accounts. They typically, female members of the family, typically remain in the palace is in a secured location, and they are taught to manage the business of the family.
Do they have a
But
similar hallway?
No, but there is a grand scroll that it notes the accomplishments and achievements of everyone in the family, regardless of gender.
But what if there is a ruler that only has female?
Then
Descendant.
a male descendant and close to who the mate as the next closest available male descendant becomes the king.
And truly sex is count. Okay.
It is simply the way that it has been. And when I was a young lad, I served alongside the king's grandfather in the peace times. After the century of war that it had happened in beforehand, and coming to a rather bloody close. I came on as a strapping young archivist, and I served once since my king had risen to the throne. I served as his Grand Vizier and his son's Grand Vizier, and now I am the Grand Vizier to his son, who is our current king. A job that I do with utmost honor and respect.
When people tell you about their jobs, like you care.
But we shouldn't leave the king waiting.
Just knocking on this guy's life's work.
Alright, he leads you guys to the main area, and where the empty throne currently is. There's a large golden throne that's adorned with that same scale, with the gold piece on one side and the heart on the other.
Foundery's back.
Not quite. You're going to get through and then it's going to die again. People have been getting in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's a server error, most likely. I'm gonna blame the gods, goddesses, or demons of nature.
Maybe another sun flare?
Anything.
No, I'm just gonna blame all the weather because ISP tech support, having listened to the complaints of multiple cities that have been wiped out by storms and tornadoes.
Critical failure. Something went wrong with the founder. Alright. So, the serpent folk lady, he comes over. She looks truly ridiculous. Like, you can tell she's the same kind of Yanti as the what was his name? The guy from the Commerce Guild. What was his name? He's also a snake person. It's gonna bug me because I just was looking at it in the notes in the foundry. Geld Copperhead. She's the same kind of Yanti as Geld, but her coloration is like a lot more brown instead of that black and bronze that he has. Introducing King Adonijah the First, first of his name, being ruler of Harun, lord of commerce, and the freer of men. And you will see. I'm just gonna upload it onto Discord. This individual, Akinra, probably you can tell he's up there in age. He's probably in his 60s, he's 70s.
How old is the prince and princess?
They told you that they're like 19.
Oh, okay.
His fur is like this deep, like sable, little silver hair color, and he has these gold markings. He's wearing purple cloak, like purple robes underneath his ceremonial armor, and he's wearing very simple leg wraps that are adorned with golden in fabric, similar to the prince's outfit. Where the prince has a lot of silver in his, the king has a lot of gold in his. It seems like it's to denote their separation of status.
They're loaded.
Like he looks to you guys, he's and sits down, and his queen, hold on, it's taking a second for it to load. Queen Atara.
That's it.
Yes.
Damn.
You will see her. She is a white-furred Leonin. She probably has a good 2 to 4 inches on him in terms of height. And she's very muscular. You can tell that Hassan got his physicality from her.
Good for Dad.
He when she sits in the queen's chair, she sort of takes up a lot of space on the chair. It seems like it was not resized to accommodate her.
Seriously.
She has white fur, her long curly white hair, and these purple freckles across her face. He's as well as purple markings on her left arm. She seems to have been a warrior in a past life before settling down as the queen. I mean, like just judging by her like just sheer her physicality.
I wonder if she's sad.
Like he sits there and the king stands. And, like before or he says anything, he looks to the vizier. Oh yes, 'cause as this is your first audience with the king and queen, there are some traditions that must be held. Look, do not speak out of turn or while the king or queen is speaking. If you have any complaints are dissuaded by anything that is stated, please refer to our to the vizier, which is me, and then I will bring the matter up to the king and queen in a respectful manner. Do not threaten the king or queen, lest you be ran through with ballista bolts. Do not make a move towards the king or queen unless you be ran through with ballista bolts. Certainly do not draw weapons in this room unless you be ran through with ballista bolts. Any and all other complaints, these will be heard after the fact by me, the Grand Vizier. Here, and should you wish to speak, please raise a hand or address me first before speaking directly to the king and queen, as is our tradition. Are there any questions? Alright, seems there are no questions. Your lordship? Quite. Now, good evening, friends of the city. It has been a while since I've seen the likes of adventurers in these parts. May I ask, are these two groups separate or one and the same, as it seems that you have traveled together to get here?
Is he addressing anyone in particular?
He's addressing the group. He's basically opening it up for anyone in the group to speak for the group.
And he's asking if the two parts of this group, or is he referring to the other group?
Basically, he's saying, are you guys two separate groups that are just now coming together, or were you guys one group to begin with and just traveled separately?
We were one group that traveled a bit separately.
Interesting. Your group seems to be a bit strange. You have foreigners addressing nobody and Charles.
Charles? Oh, that's right.
And
Also, you're supposed to refer to the vizier first.
Well, unless directly spoken to.
and it seems you have some locals was addressing like waving his hand towards NASA, and people of this continent, and he says, like, waving towards Dobat and Adarpi. A strange group like this must surely have an interesting story behind its creation. And we will speak of such matters over dinner. Here. But before that, a warm thank you is made should be made. It is a saying that it. Hold on, I have to pull up the saying. That those who gain treasure by lying tongues, things thither here and there, and by them seek death.
What?
But those who honor the land that they sojourn in and are given in the treatment of kings amongst the people. By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established, and through knowledge its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. All this is to say that you, who my fair sojourners, are welcome to my home. My children have spoken very well of you, in person and by letter. My son and crown prince and my daughter princess have their differences from the ways that I would have dealt with the situation in the city, but nonetheless, you have accomplished a great thing. You have saved our city from a deeper foe than we suspected, though the stone grind has been mismanaged and it is not getting the resources that it requires. I believe that what has happened has brought about benefits in the long run. This has opened my eyes to the negligence that has been afforded to the outer parts of the city, and thus this, by my decree, he reaches his hand out, and the vizier here hands a scroll over to the Yanti lady, who then walks up and hands the scroll to the king. As he unfurls the scroll, this is a missive that I am putting forth, that a wall shall be built around stone grind and its surrounding areas. It will be a half-size wall that will be manned by the guards that will be trained at a new guard station that will be built. This change will happen over the course of the next 15 to 20 years. At which point it will be consecrated in the name of our goddess, of justice, and those who would like it to, your names will be forever interred on this wall as a commemoration of your effort in protecting our fair city.
I'll raise my hand.
He looks to the vizier. The vizier here walks over to you and leans down.
What's he gonna do about the safety of his right now, not over the next 15 years?
He pulls out a copper wire and he puts it to his forehead. Your concern is for the immediate safety of the people. A noble pursuit.
Yeah.
I will provide additional funding for the training of more guards in the Stone Grind region of the city. We'll redouble our efforts on their training and make sure that they are all up to the standard of the inner city guards as well.
Okay. I'll raise my hand again.
The vizier here leans down. It's kind of hard for him to lean down since he's like almost 10 feet tall. And Adarpi isn't like that tall. He leans down.
So, what about all of those people who suffered from the attacks, the loss of money and income, to their family and friends dying over a course of, all of the time that they've been neglecting this entire city?
He's going to take a second. He's going to think. He's going to take out that copper wire here again and hold it to his forehead.
Darby, I do think it would be prudent to let them finish their full speech before asking more questions. It's possible they have already prepared answers for these.
You can ask questions. We gotta ask questions.
If you are speaking of compensation for the loss of life and business in these trying times, means they will be provided as best we can, and there's not that we can do for those who have lost family members except that give them a small stipend for a few months to help them get by while they reestablish themselves. The amount will be dictated by our treasury. He looks over to his wife and she nods. Now, I have also commissioned in a statue to be built in the square of honor of your choice in the city. We can have it built in the inner city, or we can have it built in the stone grind. There are several locations that lack a national landmark, and it would be appropriate to allocate that space to a statue honor in your honor.
I want to raise my hand. Dang it.
Mana's also gonna raise his hand.
Oh, a different person. he leans over to Manu.
Well, Adarpi, what did you want to say? And we'll see if our questions can match
Yeah, I
up.
was gonna raise a hand as well.
How much is this statue gonna cost? And couldn't the funds be used to, build this wall a lot sooner, or give a higher stipend, or compensate us in the meantime?
Adarpi, we
And that's
haven't
quite
gotten
what
to
I
the
was gonna ask.
we haven't gotten to the discussions of compensation yet.
Statue?
As far as how it would affect the construction of the wall, different construction teams have different specialties. The people who would be used to build the statue, to do the statue, would probably be a much smaller team compared to the people dedicated to the wall. Oh,
No, I wasn't saying that. I was talking about the compensation for the statue. You got to
that's,
go out. You have to have the material. You have to purchase material. To build a
yes,
statue in our honor just doesn't seem useful
but
time and
keep in mind
energy.
though, something like a statue can also act as a draw to bring in more funds down to Stone Grind.
But couldn't it also act as a beacon to who we are? And
Well, I was
It
gonna
is.
ask something more, add something a little more onto it, is make it more memorial.
yeah, I'd prefer that over. I don't need a statue.
Yeah, same. I think it'd be better to make it more a memorial.
Mana will say, I wonder why.
Alright, you guys are going to request that the statue be amended to being a memorial for those lost?
Yeah.
What
Okay.
was that?
Including
Basically, we're amending the statue to be less specifically focused on us and our heroism, and more a memorial with probably a reference to us, but not a physical not the full physical depiction that a full statue would be.
Okay.
Probably for the
Delbet will
better
agree
as
to that.
well.
Yeah, Delbet will agree to that.
We don't want our likenesses out there in the open.
Alright, he'll stand up and put the copper wire to his forehead, hit again.
I heard the sigh.
So, Kiara, you set up the forge stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's asking for administrator authentication
I
stuff.
got it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm back
Now if
now.
I'm faster.
I already clicked
Don't
the
know
button.
if it's still
Entering
giving
the
an error.
password.
I don't know.
Alright, as you guys continue on, he's going to he'll sign the scroll and he will say, hey, so it will be done. We will amend this just to compensate as a memorial statuary. It will be in the form of an obelisk, with a list of the names of those who have fallen, as well as a commemoration of your service as well.
Appreciate.
Now, I believe that my son had promised you compensation, son. Yes, father.
Okay, it works again.
Yep, we're back.
For the
Yeah,
for a service to the guard of the city, all of you will be honorarily deputized and made among the ranks of the city. This will give you the ability to purchase land in the city. Should you so choose. You will also be treated as a honorary deputy of the city, and should you choose to come on as a full-time member of our city staff, if you will be automatically granted the title of lieutenant in an honorary sense.
I will ask the vizier. For this position, for all these things, who would we contact in the city?
He'll speak out loud. It is being asked who would their point of contact be. It will be myself or my sibling. As I'm giving her full authority to act as your liaison on this matter. Adarpi, give me a insight check real quick. As he says this.
18.
Both Harim and the king get the exact same flinch on their face when he makes this decree.
It hurts.
You can tell that they have similar mannerisms, but this is the first time you're seeing the comparison between these two individuals.
What do you mean?
And also, you guys will be granted a sum of silver. They're weighing in at 500 pieces of silver in total, as well as access to the royal armory. This has been discussed previously with the queen and those who are over that department. The king gives a side eye to the queen, who looks nonplussed, and she sort of just is just leaned on her one arm, watching things unfold.
I feel like there's a whole lot of drama going on here.
Oh, there is a whole soap opera going on in here.
Yep.
A whole 5 seasons of it on HBO.
The king will stand up. So it is said, so it shall be.
Is that how that works? I'll ask them.
Then you will be provided with access to the royal armory, as opposed to the guards armory or the city armory. Anyway, you are, or it has been arranged that you will join us for a feast, where you will sit down with me and my children, and we will have light conversation and spend time in getting to know each other. You'll be able to go spend your evening here in the palace, and we'll be able to leave in the morning to the armory, and we'll be able to go about your business. With that, let us go. As he stands up, you see like one of the walls will open up as these two other Luxodon that look like much more muscular and a lot more like warriors. There's with these ballistas on their back that like you didn't realize they were in the room until just now when they moved to open this door, and you will see that it opens up to a dining chamber where there are already probably about 6 other individuals sitting at table with dancers and musicians playing. Like as soon as the door starts opening, they like the music and dancing kicks up. And then the king waves his scepter here for you guys to proceed.
Gobat will give a polite bow and then go on.
I have no reason not to, so.
Okay, that's how
I
to.
wanted to push something outside really quick.
Yep, I'll give a polite courtesy as well. And follow.
Oh yeah, I did realize something. So that would have disabled any active spells, correct?
Yes.
So then when Dobat walked through the arch, a shimmer would have kind of dissipated over him. So I forgot I had mage armor active.
And my stuff would have been active.
You guys would, like, as you guys are walking, like, you now see them. There's probably about 15 Luxodons in this room just casually standing there hidden, holding these ballistas.
Everything that you just said made no sense to me, but okay.
Giant elf people were holding
Elephant.
siege weapons.
It seems like they're like as you guys are going, the vizier will yes, these are the silent children They're here as the king's personal guards. They're trained from birth to be very stealthy and to be very strong.
Mm.
Most of the time, you won't see their attacks coming. I certainly have seen it quite a few times in my lifetime where he've dealt with would-be assassins.
Good thing we're not that.
Mana will silently wonder if they actually are the king's children.
And she's like 15 10-foot tall elephant people wielding weapons that shoot bolts the size of Kiari, I think.
Mm.
Yeah.
do
they-
How would you do it?
It's basically a giant crossbow.
Yeah.
It's just the bolt is the size of like Kiari.
Can I go outside?
There
Like,
is so there's and the dining area is adjacent to an inner courtyard.
Okay.
There's like a
I'll
garden and a couple of like fountains and water features in there.
Pretty. Okay, I'm gonna go that way. So does magic not be able to work anywhere inside the castle, or
You are unsure. You saw the Grand Vizier use he seemed to be casting the message spell, so you saw that he was able to cast spells.
Mhm.
So there's probably some condition that needs to be met to be able to cast magic in this part of the palace if you've gone through that arch.
what happens if I go through that arc? I don't know. Alright, I'm gonna still go outside, and I will. Well, I'll just go outside,
Okay.
and I want to try and do a locate object spell. For my mother's necklace.
Okay.
Where it is.
Give me a Arcana check.
Not 20.
Okay.
The
Give me a
question
second.
is there an alarm?
As you cast a spell, you'll it does not seem to ping.
That's a big spell.
Well, yeah. 1,000 feet.
No,
I
yeah,
didn't realize.
the map hasn't been adjusted for scale at this point. But yeah, you get a fairly large portion of this part of the city that would be caught up in the effect.
Mhm.
You do not get a ping on locate object. Not from your mother's necklace.
I
As
don't
you're
know what. Or the ring. Which one did I give? The bracelet, necklace? I can't even remember.
you gave her the necklace.
Well, she already had a necklace.
You
And I
gave her the
gave-
mother's. Yeah, I think you gave her
I-
the mother's necklace at the party. I think that's what let us get through temporarily.
No, she already had one, but I slipped her another just in case she took that one off. I slipped her, I think, a ring or a bracelet in her pocket. And I can't remember which one it was, but okay.
Either way, that would be a recast of the spell. So.
So, I'll do that later. I'll come back inside.
Harim was standing like a little bit behind you. Everything okay?
You're a nosy one, aren't you?
Well, I just wanted to make sure you were okay.
I am going to ask Kareem who the other people at the table are.
Oh, I guess I should probably they'll probably be introduced to you, but it's my uncle and his wife, as well as my two younger sisters. You'll see that the uncle is another Kenra. He looks pretty much the same as the king, but he doesn't have the same makeup on, like the same golden makeup. He's just wearing casual clothes. Like, he seems a lot more laid back. Like, his wife is currently wearing a full like burqa, so you can't really see any of her features. Then the same is true for the younger sisters.
Let's see.
I'll ask her if she's okay. By her brother's decree.
It's hard to, he's basically putting it into writing that he's like working with me on something, which he's not supposed to do that. I'm supposed to be cut off.
Well, maybe there will be a change eventually. Hopefully not in the next 15 years. Or hopefully within the next 15 years.
We'll see. And the uncle will get up and walk over to where you guys are. Ah, if it isn't my niece, it's nice to see you. Uncle Malachi, it's nice to see you as well. Oh, I hope you have been eating healthily. I know the world out there is quite cruel. Oh, I'm sure you missed having the wonderful meals at the palace. It's not too late for you to come back. I'm fine, Uncle. So, come on, look at me. He pats his rather robust belly. You can't get fat like this out there. Make sure you speak to your aunt. She has been missing you at the weaving lessons, and I'm sure your sisters have missed you over the past over these few years that you've been gone.
That's totally not telling on how
Is
this
this one of those
country views
creepy
this.
uncles?
He seems to think that he's being well-meaning. like
He
making
seems like one of those creepy uncles.
he's like making light of the situation. But from
Yeah.
how
Come
Harim's
sit with
ears
me.
are drooped down, she doesn't seem to be taking it in the way that he's wanting it to be perceived.
I ease between his hand and her shoulder and pull her in, and we walk over to the table. The other side of the table.
Like he shrugs and goes over there to Nessa. Oh, aren't you a sweet little child?
Oh my god.
Aren't you a sweet little child? And that being was never heard from again.
You seem to be some manner of street urchin. You know, I have a son who is right around your age. Have you ever thought about living the palace life?
I do the little gun.
Just
game.
walks away, going in the same direction as Darby.
You almost could. You almost got it.
Just like, nope.
Was it something I
No.
said?
Anybody related to that man? Are looking for me? I'm so sorry.
Like he's like one of those grandparents that's always trying to hook their grandchildren up with random people they meet.
He's the type. He's the grandfather who's like cool and hip for the time period he grew up in, and just never moved past that point. So doesn't realize like, maybe people's standards have shifted a bit. Just a bit.
Just a bit.
Just a wee little bit.
After that failure, he'll go and
Oh my god. Just sit down.
he'll go over to Mana. So, a Noxian, are you? I've heard some good things about that island. Though its lands aren't vast, it has a great connection to the sea. Yeah, that's something that I myself have personally not seen, but I'm sure that your travel from there is eventful. Do you have any stories that you would like to tell?
Hold on. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess I will count to him unabridged version of the tale of, Debonair's family up until this point.
Such tragedy. You lost your wife at such a young age. You must be devastated.
Yes, but my current goal is to make sure that my son will be established and able to provide for himself should the worst happen.
I see. You know, I have a granddaughter that's right around that age.
I know.
If we could maybe work out a business dealing thing. If your son will marry into the Arun family, maybe we can open up one of your bread stores. It may not be as popular as naan, but your Noxian bread might take off here.
Any way to get rid of that kid, sure.
Well, I would like to pursue such a venture. I would like to keep my business and his life separate in that regard. But if you would like to introduce them, maybe they'll hit it off. he's been ever since he started recovering from his illness, is he's been needing more more people to interact with that are around his age.
Like, like we'll just it's just like a cut to him sitting in the wagon in field position, and like trying to like while um um the other day, the blue haired day is like trying to comfort him, to try and let him get over the sort of trauma that he went through earlier today.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's right.
I
Because
haven't.
it's basically Simon died. We got to the cutscene, and then we did the whole chase scene and fight, and then we came back and went to the palace. We haven't talked to the kid.
He's been left. Bad parenting at its finest, right here, guys.
Look, look. It's not. I'm not a perfect parent. I'm relearning this.
I know it's just kind of funny to think about. Like, oh, that's right. That poor kid witnessed Simon get murked, and then got left alone while we went off on a witch hunt.
Yep. A successful one at that.
A very successful one, considering the guy got turned into food.
Mm-hmm.
He'll be fine.
Here's the new cuisine right here.
We could turn this and make it actionable.
Anywho.
We'll have talks. You send a missive, I send you the one back. I can see I can see a lot in our future. Just think, Malik and Debonair, their Red Empire, all across the Rubian Desert.
I can see a lot of potential in that future.
Well, just let me know when you want to get in touch. Let me go sit. My wife seems to be very upset at me for some reason. Let me go see what's going on.
You're throwing your random.
Throwing his kids under the bus.
I just imagine we're all eating as we slowly gets dragged by the ear off screen.
Like, she does take him to the garden area, and you can hear them having a quiet argument out there, but it's like drowned out by all the music and dancing and whatnot.
The music slowly gets louder.
It's like as soon as the bards see them walk away, it's like, all right, let's play a few decibels louder, shall we?
The king eventually joins you. Like when he comes to the door, he has an angry look on his face, but it immediately switches to like this kind and like wide-eyed look that you can tell is similar to that look that Harim always gives. But like Adarpi, with your insight earlier, you can tell that this is like a front, and you can tell with Harim it's a genuine, and that's just genuinely how he is. He's basically like an over trusting puppy. While he's someone who's trying to appear like he's a wolf that's trying to look like a kind and wolfhound.
Coyote.
For a bit of fun, Keontae, what are there wind instruments being played?
Yeah.
Or is it a lot of like drum and string?
There's like there's a long flute that it's mostly like traditional string instruments.
Okay, then never mind. I was gonna try to play along, but I only have the flute and ocarina.
Oh, I'm gonna ask Harim something. Hey Harim, Real quick.
Yes.
Does your family have close ties to the gods?
Oh, yes. I don't know if you know this, but that one of our ancestors is very closely related to the one of the to the founding god of this country, of our country, Lord Rubedo. During my great grandfather's era, when the Great War happened in the desert, there, he, not great grandfather, great great grandfather, um, he he fought alongside Lord Rubedo against in it's Lady Iosis. While his brother there fought on Lady Iosis' side. Eventually, he prevailed, and then he essentially took over the city as the ruler. Though all of his children were attributed to his older brother, since he had died early, as is tradition.
What do you mean, as is tradition?
Well, if a brother were to die early, he, without bearing any heirs, then it is for their sibling to take on that responsibility of bearing their older siblings' heirs. Like, let's say Hassan dies without having any children, then, well, any children that I may have or my sisters have would be ascribed to him.
That's an interesting tradition.
If he dies early?
Yeah,
So, like,
essentially, if
Are
he
they,
dies early, yeah.
does
if
that
you
happen frequently in your family history?
I, yeah. That's why the that's why the twin, like the twin of the sibling is kept around and usually lives their entire life in the palace.
Just in
So
case the brother dies.
basically,
Yep.
so upon his death, you'll effectively become him, as far as your historical records will say.
I mean, I would become. My name would be unique, but it, essentially, if I were to have children, in and not that I'm really planning on having any children anytime soon, they would be by the record and by law his children, even though he would have died. He, in the past, they would even take their brother's wife as their wife. Well, that's been phased out for a few generations now.
I imagine that could make things awkward.
very.
I mean, to their to their sensibilities, it wasn't. It, I mean, my family was also known for like its purity way back in the day. But it after a few generations is of of defects and miscarriages, is they 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 were forced to marry outside of the family.
Oh, yeah, speaking as a biologist, it's such things are untenable long term, and, and they're very damaging to the future potential, well, that someone has even in the short term.
Speaking as a historian, that's how lions tend to die out.
The food is here. Yeah. Um, like like so far, you guys have been eating like the appetizers. Is they bring out the main course, which is like this huge desert boar, or like judging from the size of the flanks that they bring out, this thing had to be like 5 or more feet tall at the shoulder, like a truly massive boar. They bring that out as well as is a huge, like it's a huge salad filled with all sorts of nuts and berries that have been gathered from the desert, and a huge like dragon fruit that has been sliced on top, revealing the bright orange insides of it.
Do they have a meatless stew?
See, they do have a soup, but that's more of an appetizer rather than the main course.
Not soup, stew.
Oh, the stew? Not a meatless stew.
That's not.
They have the salad if you want to have a meatless option.
The salad. I've been looking forward to food all day. Where's the kitchen?
There's food right here.
Adobe, we can cook later. We're going to have to make food anyway.
We're in a palace. A palace.
Yes, and
You
it's
guys
generally
get to
bad
eat
meat.
a boar.
Nothing's stopping you from eating it.
Did you not inform your friend of your dietary constraints beforehand?
Yeah. Yes, I did.
Head of game, I actually never knew that.
I'll say something, and Harim will get up and like she will take the long path as to not cross near where her father is, and speak to one of the kitchen staff. If he'll like, you see, he'll nod and point towards the giant salad. And she'll be like, no. To like, she's explaining. He gets like this exacerbated look on his face. He's like he's like throwing his hands all over, and she's like, hey, just with the kindest face he possibly can, just smiles and like just asks one more time, and he sighs, and then he goes back in the kitchen, and you can hear some slight yelling over the music. And then a couple of minutes later, they'll bring you out a meatless stew that's chock filled with root vegetables, some stems, and they bring you out as compensation a nice cold rhubarb pie with a heavy drizzle of this cream on top.
Meanwhile, Delvat is eating boar.
Like, everyone's having casual conversation. The king eats, but he seems to be maintaining this weird poker face. He's probably a little closer towards the end of the meal as they're bringing out desserts, which is like a few pies and a couple of cakes, as well as a pudding. A hot pudding, not one of the, like, a cold pudding. The queen will get up and she will grab a candied haw I don't know if you guys know what a hawk fruit is.
Nope.
Mm-mm.
Can you spell that for me?
HAWS.
This
Haws.
fruit.
It's a hawthorn. It's the fruit of a hawthorn tree. And you typically will see them like skewered and coated in melted sugar. In Chinese, they're called tagulu, but they're eaten throughout the southern part of the Asian continent. Sometimes as on a stick, sometimes like piled up, sometimes made into like different shapes and colored with different icings and whatnot to make them look like different things. And he brings like she seems to have had like a plate of these specially made. And she brings it over her and sort of pulls up a chair between Harim and Adarpi, and she will lay the plate in front of you too.
But the queen,
Yes.
may I say that you look amazing, like very inspiring.
Thank you, young lady. It seems like my little prince here has taken in quite a liking to you. I hope you can be her good friend in the future. Here,
I love your
I
adder.
I had them make your favorite. Harim is has taken the hood of her like outfit and covered her face with it in embarrassment.
Under that hood, she is bright. She is redder than the fruits that are beside her.
Yep.
Which, for reference, these from the pictures I see are somewhat of a tomato red, for the
Yeah.
most part.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask the queen, what did she feel about the whole situation with the siblings? Like, how did you feel about Harim's desire to rule?
If it were up to me, I would probably be more amicable towards it. It's hard for any society to break a tradition, especially one filled with hard-headed individuals like these. But that I raise my children to have open minds and be able to think for themselves instead of allowing others to think for them.
Do you think there'll be a change soon?
We will see. It's looking like my husband isn't going to be handing over the throne anytime soon. But I think once our soldiers come back from the war, that's when things will start picking up for my children.
Is that information we knew that their soldiers are gone?
Is she talking about the war that's the battleground over near where the...
One of the tombs is opening up?
Yeah.
You guys haven't heard the specifics. Princess San mentioned something about the soldiers being out the other day, but when the incident was happening, but you guys don't know the exact details. You guys have noticed that the city seems to be emptier. It's been stated a few times that it seems like the city doesn't have as many people as can be accommodated in the city. And like you've noted on several occasions that like the stone grind guards don't have nearly enough people to who manage such a large part of the city.
Do we know where the battleground is?
You know that the only war that you guys know of going on nearby is going on between Nehustan and another city state.
Is Dobat sitting near?
You guys are all sitting relatively close to each other.
Okay, may I... Sorry to interrupt, I couldn't help it over here. Would that happen to be a fight with Nehustan?
Yeah, Nehustan and Agbad have been at war for about a century now.
Huh. Well, that's fun. I'm trying to find that stupid note.
It's
Oh yeah, I found it. I found the note.
It's unknown what started the war, but it escalated. It slowly at first. It was small skirmishes and whatnot, but in the past 10 years, it got fairly serious. Agbad called on its allies, and so did Nebustan, and we are allies of Nehustan, so we sent our soldiers, leaving enough to still patrol our region.
And like, interesting. And then, like, kind of under his breath, just loud enough for either Mana or nobody, whoever's closer to hear, in Ancient Common, Tomb number 2, First Era, and then back to normal. Where?
If they can
Where?
speak that.
Huh? No, Ancient Common's pretty much a dead language around here. The only reason Dobat knows it is because he's a nerd, put bluntly. Okay, interesting. I didn't realize that it was a rune that was part. Or this is a rune, right?
Yeah, this is around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay, making sure the area was called a rune. Didn't realize a rune was part of that.
Several other city-states nearby are part of it. Though we send soldiers, we aren't directly sending generals, so to speak. That is why my brother-in-law is still here, rather than him leading the troops out there. His direct subordinates are out there. If we wanted to show that we were directly getting involved, we would have sent one of our lead generals, like my brother-in-law.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, thanks for the information. Was just a bit curious is all. Sorry to bother.
It's okay. Yeah, I hope that you guys remain good friends with my children. And they've been sorely lacking in close friends.
You've got to get out more. Maybe travel some.
So, above game, in the middle of that battlefield somewhere, is a First Era dungeon.
Yep.
So we've potentially got 2 tombs close by. If not 3. Depending on where that other one was that they were leaving for.
Fun.
Mm-hmm.
Alright. The rest of the meal goes off without a hitch. The king stands up. Look. As I have duty set, attend to in the morning. I'm going to go ahead and retire for the evening. I hope that you guys enjoy the rest of your night, eating, drinking, and making merry. He will get up and leave, as well as the two younger daughters, who, like the whole time this party goes on, you don't see them eat. They keep their burqas on the whole time, and you see it seems like they ate beforehand, so that they didn't have to uncover themselves in your guys' presence. Like they stand up and leave, as well as the uncle and his wife. So right now it's you guys, the vizier here, and the vizier, the royal knave, and the two princes.
Okay.
So things are winding down.
Yeah. As I say, are we to visit the armory tonight?
You'll go first thing in the morning.
Very well.
But we have prepared rooms for you here at the palace should you wish to stay.
Unfortunately, I cannot stay tonight.
I would not mind staying in potential some more.
Have to go and check on your son, quote unquote.
What do I have to do about the meeting?
I won't be staying here as well.
Who all will stay?
Go about.
Is Hareem staying?
Hareem doesn't seem like she's comfortable staying, so she's probably gonna head back to the guard house.
Well, I guess I'm not staying.
I also out of game. I realized the very slight irony of what's going on right now. The bunny is staying in the palace run by dog people.
Oh my!
And I am the only one staying.
Well, Nessa might stay. Is Nessa staying?
Probably not. He'd probably go with Hareem as well. Back to the barracks.
Dolbat's gonna more or less spend a little bit of time, if he can, learning some local music that he can play.
Okay.
And then he'll just go to bed. That's more of why he wants to stay, because he is a bard at heart. He still wants to learn some local music.
Alright. So, you guys, spend the night in your various locations, and the night's relatively uneventful. But Dobat, you do note that the room that you stay in is quite spacious and has a lot of like additional accoutrements. Like there is running water in the palace, so the palace itself is fed by some sort of aquifer system. So there is running water in a lot of places in the palace, like including like the bathrooms. There's a large communal bath for guests. Yes, men, women baths, and other baths. And you're able to spend a relatively relaxing night there. And everyone else goes off and does their own thing throughout the night. And the next morning, and you guys will meet up, and they will take you to a separate part of the palace complex, where you will be led into a very large mausoleum type building, and that outside of it you see what appears to be a broken statue of a horse and a broken statue of some kind of furry person. But the pieces have been broken to the point where they're unrecognizable.
What were those statues used to be?
Kareem will lean down. Oh, those are the statues of the old gods.
Any more details than that?
Actually, whisper.
Oh, we're not supposed to speak of them. Like, as you guys get closer, you see two newer statues are right outside the mausoleum. One of a young half orc woman and a young half orc male individual wearing traditional clothing, but they're fairly large. There's one holding a great club and the other holding a quill. These are the statues of the new gods.
So going back to, why can't you talk about the old gods?
Can Dobat recognize who the old gods were?
You would know that they were Rubedo and Citronitis, was it? Oops.
Again, they fought and
they fought and were defeated by the current gods, Iosis and I can never remember their
What?
Sorry, they're all based off of something.
Well, I think I have enough for now.
Yeah.
So Dovat will just kind of lean down to Nissa. Common history is written by the victors.
Xanthosis, that's his name.
The old ones were defeated, and thus consigned to be forgotten. This is the nature of defeated gods in time, defeated kings and countries. Takes a bit of digging to find some remains of them. Sometimes there's nothing left to find.
Some things are better left unfound.
True. But that is more or less the nature of that.
I see.
So it is best not to speak of them for now. Anywho, as we walk into the mausoleum.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, so you see lying before you many like crystal cases is filled with all sorts of like items, and at the back there is a shrine to the god that Scoff, a large humanoid being who half of his body is made out of red stone and the other half is made out of pink stone. well, the god of love and vengeance.
We remember Scoff, don't we?
Mm-hmm.
What you're talking about?
Well, out of game.
The, there is a international holiday known as Scoff Day that
Mm-hmm.
everyone would know about. It's the day that you proclaim your undying love for people, as well as the day that you get revenge on people that have slighted you throughout the year.
Or attempt to.
That's our attempt to.
It's basically show your love for someone, or else.
It seems that Scoff seems to be a god that's worshipped by the royal family, but you know that the city was founded by the church to Jinsu, so that's an interesting delineation. Jinsu's goddess of wealth, health, and education, while Scoff is a god of vengeance and love.
Oh, that's right. That's boy. The name escaped me for a moment.
You
The
must
two aren't.
you're thinking of Scarif.
No, I was thinking of Titans. Because I remembered why I knew the name of Jinshu.
Mm-hmm.
It took me a moment. It took a moment for the gear to click.
Oh.
Because I remember that was Nyx. Rebind.
Mm-hmm.
So you guys will, the Prince Hassan is like surrounded. You guys are surrounded by guards. It's of various shapes and sizes. But Prince Hassan tries to lead you guys to one area, but the guards cross their spears. The king has decreed that only the items in this initial area are up for the acquisition, and no item that is deemed too unique or rare can be acquired by these outsiders.
Ouch.
Hassan will grimace, and then he'll go over to a stone tablet. These are the items that are of note in this section, and he will list them off. The first thing, the gilded mantle. Well, it allows for one to who catch themselves and fly for a limited amount of time. And a lot of the guards on the wall have one of these. It's fairly common in the city for certain patrols, and certain people.
A mid flight. Okay.
We have a pair of venomous daggers. They only work in conjunction with each other. We have a crown, a radiant crown, which in days past was worn by generals when they went to war. It allows you to combat at the darkness, so to speak, with radiant beams of light. We have the Sand Sovereign's plate. It's also armor of generals, which gives you control over certain things.
Is that actual plate?
Yes, it seems to be plate armor. Like it's a full set of plate armor there.
I think that would be fitting. But continue.
We have the Sandblight scepters. There's, these were created by a prince in the days past. They were originally entombed with him, but once it was found that they had gained magical properties upon his death, they were brought here. They allow one to control a plague of insects, or it will give you the ability to commune with the creatures of the desert, allowing you to better deal with them.
That sounds like something Red Dorothy.
There's also the Spectral Siphon. It is a lapis lazuli necklace that allows you to see beyond the veil of this world, as well as step into that veil. Well, it's one of the previous queens was from the plane of fire, and upon her death, her soul was infused into what her soul flame was infused into this item, and allows you to summon her occasionally to save you in dire straits.
I'm useful for nobody.
We have one of many staffs of judgment. This one in particular was held by my grandfather when he reestablished the nation after the new gods took over. It allows one to cast judgment upon those around them, as well as force people into speaking the truth. It can heal and harm, but it's relatively useless for their day-to-day proceedings in the court. No one wants to be forced to tell the truth when they're speaking to the king.
Ooh.
Yeah, that also sounds like nobodies.
Yep.
We have the Sun Silver Scarab, the companion to my a gold raven in halberd. This axe can essentially has ties to the sun goddess, while my halberd has ties to the moon god. It basically allows you to deal. It allows you to use the power of the death of creatures around you to strengthen yourself.
Can you cut out there for a sec?
Essentially, when things die around you, you can regain your health, and it also will light on fire when you've killed things with it.
This would have been something for Simon, more or less.
And then this also belonged to the same prince who's created the scepter, the Sandblight scepters. There's the Wrap of the Royal Dead. Whenever you would be harmed while wearing these burial wrappings, you will will release a swarm of insects to attack your foes. Those
Oh.
They will follow your commands and harm whoever you choose.
Ooh.
Not a game. Are we only one?
Yeah,
Ooh.
after that's the last item. Of these
Wow.
items, you can pick one each.
Dang.
Not a game. Darn. Nothing really
Both-
up my alley.
Both the wraps and the judgment staff are like so on nobody's like.
Nobody get the judgment staff.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm
there-
gonna get the staff.
I forgot. There are two other items that I'm going to mention that aren't on this list that have seemed to be removed from this area. The canopic rebirth jars. Essentially, should you die, they will allow you to resurrect yourself. Well,
I wonder where they are.
and while you're attuned to attune to them, you have to remove a part of your body.
Mm.
But once it's that part of your body still functions while it's in the jar.
I wonder if it was that last one.
I have one. I have a jar, but my sister does not. And Harim, he sort of looks down dejectedly. Crown Prince is like most princes usually have one, and so that they at least can revive once when should they die. But
And doesn't Hareem get a prize for, saving everybody?
I know that my father has a crocodile jar held that he had in holding for if he had another son. But as my mother has reached an age where she is no longer able to bear children, and he is at an age where it's difficult for him to will participate in that act. I doubt that we're going to have another sibling anytime soon.
That's so much information I didn't even know.
Now, what is the other item?
The other is a weapon that was brought here from a faraway land. A control, it's a control cane. It's a sword. It's a sword that's hidden as a walking cane. While you wield this weapon, like it allows you to surprise people who won't initially realize that you are armed, but it also has the ability to allow its user to modify someone's memory.
Three for nobody.
How many objects is that in total?
In total,
There's more objects than there are us.
yeah, there's a lot of objects in the vault. You guys got lucky in terms of just how many things there are.
Okay. The
Because I don't remember that many.
Oh, so I forgot about the thing, the force saddle object. There's a sword made out of candy that he mentions that comes from that dungeon that you guys are going to go to.
So that just blinks.
There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 items that you guys can pick from.
Okay, the sun axe, is it a battle axe or what kind of axe is it?
It's a two-handed axe.
Okay, so that's beyond me then. It's not a hand axe, it's a two-handed martial. Great axe.
For the cane sword, do you have to have martial proficiency for it?
It's a short sword. So, no, simple weapon.
Okay. So for me, it's between the cane sword and the staff. Judge.
Yeah, I can't really decide. I was thinking the axe, but I can't wield it.
I think I'm leaning a bit more towards the staff of judge, but having modify memory this early.
Well, here's what we can do. I can take the okay. Do I know if the cane? Have they said if the cane sword requires attunement or any special requirements?
They wouldn't really know what's required, if like things like required attunement. And that he said if you're wielding the weapon, so you can assume that it will probably require attunement.
I just didn't know because like the staff of the python requires attunement by certain subclass or certain class. Because at the moment I'm not. I'm trying to decide if there is anything I could gather from this.
I will say, in my head, I will be discussing what I should pick with Mana. Kind of clue them in. Both of these things, artifacts, are really, really useful.
Hey.
Honestly, I feel like I missed some because I don't remember the axe.
The sun axe we discussed about is the companion to his halberd. His halberd's the moon. This axe is the sun. Whenever you kill people, it will help you regen, and it can light on fire.
Okay.
Lights on fire when you kill someone.
Okay.
And from the sounds of it, it's either a great axe or a battle axe.
And Nick, you're looking at the pestilence staff or the control sword?
No, I'm looking at the judgment staff or the control sword.
What's the judgment staff do?
Cast judgment.
Mm-hmm.
It had like it could also heal and harm as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that actually would be really useful.
And it could force someone to speak the truth.
While the control has access, of course it's a hidden weapon, but it also has access to modify memory.
Mm-hmm.
But it is a short sword. And I don't have any strength.
Oh, that's true. It would require.
Yeah, it's a short sword, and short swords are strength based completely.
Well, that would only matter if you're actually using it for the cutting part. You can still use it for the rest.
Oh, sword is a martial melee weapon.
How many
Mm-hmm.
of us
That's the
are
case
there?
tonight.
Yeah, they are martial.
But I have proficiency with them specifically.
Yep, I also do too.
If short sword is a martial weapon, then my choice is clear. It's the staff of judgment.
Do you have okay? Can you give us that list in some kind of form, Keontae?
I have been adding items this whole time to a list. Hold on.
So I'm kind of between the sword and the pendant.
There you go.
Pendant.
You guys can see it.
Where?
It's in the journal.
Which journal?
It's gonna be under a room. Oh, sorry, not journal. It's in the items. Sorry, under a room armory, royal armory.
Okay,
it
there it is.
also includes Adarpi's magic items as well. I just put them all in the same in one.
Oh, there. Oh, that's the Blast and Blade gun list. So that's the Gilded Mantle.
So what is it under?
It's
So
in
go
the-
to items and suitcase, a Rune Royal Armory.
Mhm.
Ah.
Kodachi Control Cane. Weapon short sword requires attunement.
So wait, with the gilded mantle, when you're gliding, you can cut people as you go.
Yeah, you can shoot your feathers like arrows.
So ignore the blade gun, the gunless, the Leviathan, and the Mist Chest.
Yeah, Adarpi already has those.
We are
So
missing a lot of items though.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working on it.
Yeah.
I lost a lot of time when it came down to the go back and forth between notes and us losing everything, like losing connection to the server. So
Gotcha.
I have been copy pasting as best I can. But how about this? We'll reveal the things that you guys pick next time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that'll give everyone time to pick.
Yep.
Alright. Everyone say bye to the viewers.
Bye,
Bye.
viewers.
We're not getting a level up
Oh.
now.
You guys, I should go ahead and say that. If they also give you your level up materials, I did not transfer it over. So how level ups work now? You will the spirit stones remain the same, but instead of having in class specific materials, you need either an inheritance or a certain amount of gold. That way, it's if you're leveling up in your same class, it's going to be 100 gold worth of gemstones per level. So to level up to level 6, you get 600 gold worth of gemstones. Or if you have a inheritance for the class that you're switching to, and you can only multi-class if you have an inheritance or get training in that multi-class. Currently, you guys have inheritances for 3 different warlock subclasses. 2 druid subclasses and a rogue subclass, I believe.
Wait, 3?
Yeah, you have the Shadows. You have the Hexblade, and you have the
Undead.
Undead, yeah.
I was trying to figure out where we got the Hexblade and where we got the other inheritances, because I thought I had the only inheritance in the party.
No, the Shadows came from them killing the guy, killing Kevin Ashton's double. And the Hexblade came from I think that's the one you bought, and the Undead one was the one that Layla was offering up.
What's the other druid one? I thought we only had one.
You have you have the one for that's the Spirit Guardian one, and then there's one for the it's one of the ones that I'd have to go back. I have it noted down somewhere. It's in my notes. But you have another druid one that oh no, not druid. It's a monk. Sorry. It's an unknown monk inheritance that you guys do not know. haven't like deciphered yet.
I don't suppose the Queen would be open to giving fighter training.
You can. The Queen, no. The Prince, yes.
Oh, why would I need training for someone weaker than me?
I was thinking maybe getting training from those stealthy. See if we could get training with the stealthy elephants. The stealthy Luxodons.
And the thing is, Keontae, I never bought an inheritance.
Oh, it's one that was. I have in
I'd
my
say-
notes that you had one.
Yeah,
and
but
that
the
you
only
were
inheritance.
offered one.
Yeah, I'd say the only inheritance I am ever aware of. Oh, it may have been because you were thinking of I think you were. I was offered probably scale bound by
Oh yeah.
like-
Yeah.
But
So,
I'm trying to pursue Hexblade, which is why I was going to use the current
Yeah,
inheritance
'cause you
to go into
got-
Hexblade.
you had the one that was offered to you by Amon.
Yeah. But I think Layla gave me something, so maybe I can flip this undead into a hex.
You can see offered you undead, but you said that there is a possibility that she can do Hexblade.
Okay. Because the thing is, undead doesn't really work. Scalebound doesn't really work. Not with my current build, anyway. So I'd like to try to go into hex.
Well, you guys will be given enough materials to level up to level 6. So next week, you guys will discuss your level up throughout the week. You guys roll your hit points for your level up next session, but everything else will be set up ahead of time because it's going to take a minute to put some of the subclass stuff into Foundry for some of y'all. So it will. I didn't want to have to sit during the stream doing that. So
Okay.
just let me know what you guys want to do with the level up and say bye to the